Hello everyone and welcome back to the channel. Today I want to talk about a roaming theory. Well, to be honest, it isn't roaming in a particularly close range right now. But even though it's in distance, I feel like this will be the inevitable conclusion, and it's the resetting the MCU after the Avengers Secret Wars. But what is Secret Wars about? I hear you asking for in the back. Secret Wars was originally a limited series that published in the 80s. It's about a guy named Beyonder summoning a lot of major heroes and villains to a made-up planet called the Battle World to see them fight each other. This version is not really important. It was 40 years ago and there was another Secret Wars that happened in 2015. And that's what we kind of focus on here. I mean, we are not really going to focus on it, but I'll talk about it briefly. Let's just get that out of the way and talk about the real topic of this video. So 2015 Secret Wars is mainly about incursion and collapsing of different universes in the Marvel comics. Especially this was mainly for shutting down the Ultimate Universe because it was kind of dookie around this time. We kind of know about these in the MCU thanks to the events of Spider-Man No Way Home, Doctor Strange Multiverse of Madness, Loki, and lastly, Deadpool and Wolverine. In this storyline, basically Doctor Doom finesses his way into playing God and creates his own battle world, where he rules everything. Stuff happens, everyone fights, heroes win, and the Marvel Universe gets a reset with some characters from the Ultimate Universe like Miles Morales and Maker transfers to the Earth 616. Okay, enough of this general info about Secret Wars. Because the thing is, we don't know how they will execute this storyline in the MCU. I mean, from the start, the Fantastic Four isn't even part of the Earth 616. They seem like they will be the starters of the incursion on the main timeline. On the other hand, Doctor Doom of this story is going to be played by none other than the Iron Man himself. And the Fox Studios X-Men is here too. So right from the start, we are in for a doozy. But like I said, this video isn't mainly about how would MCU's Secret Wars happen. No, we are going to talk about how should MCU's reset after the Secret Wars happen. So first question, is there going to be a reset in the MCU? Shit, I have any idea. But should there be one? Abso-bloody-lutely. Why? I hear you asking again from the back. Look man, you can't keep interrupting the show, okay? But it's a valid question nonetheless. Well, because this shit got too messy and I believe it's affecting the future storylines that they could create. First thing first, let's talk about the biggest Marvel hero, Spider-Man. Tom Holland says that he doesn't even want to play the character after he's past 30 years old. And he is already 29. Obviously, money can change anything and that report was from 2021, but still, this is a huge blow. And the story arcs that they made for Spider-Man in the MCU, even though they were enjoyable, they weren't what the fans asking for. For years, we have been asking for a more grounded Spider-Man, a friendly neighborhood hero that helps the little guy.
So you want to look out for the little guy, you want to do your part, make the world a better place, all that, right?
Yeah, just looking out for the little guy. That's what it is.
But right from its introduction, Spider-Man in the MCU is tangled with Avengers, had multiple Stark Tech costumes, fought against aliens, and had a multiversal adventure with two of his multiverse counterparts. Like I said, the stories were fun. We enjoyed them throughout. But with the way MCU is built right now, these stories cost us the likes of the Osborn family, possibly the entire symbiote saga and Eddie Brock, and the entire grounded growth of Peter as a person and also Spider-Man. The only thing that they did justice to the last part was the ending of the No Way Home, where we saw Peter tailoring his own spandex suit like he does in the comics and starting a new journey in his life in his shitty studio apartment in New York, where he probably pays way too much rent. A reboot or a remake in MCU can help that problem big time by recasting the character again and giving him a fresh start. For me, this time we should see Spider-Man between both movies and TV series. You can give him more grounded story arcs with a TV series on Disney Plus, and more big-budget adventures could be casted on the big screen. This could allow Marvel to introduce a lot more characters into the universe and have a more diverse catalog of story arcs in Spider-Man's world. But this time, I think we should have an already established Spider-Man, preferably right after his high school graduation or possibly in his freshman year in college. Holland's Spider-Man kind of went with this route by not showing his origin story with the spider bite and Uncle Ben's death, so I believe this time they should take one more step forward. Okay, I could talk about Spider-Man for the entirety of this video, but we have a bigger universe to dive in. Spider-Man is my favorite superhero of all time, and that's why I want to talk about him a bit more specifically. But from now on, I will talk about the rest of the MCU a bit more generally with focusing on important characters time to time. So, the rest of the bunch. To me, the classic Marvel formula just won't cut it now. We need a fresh coat of paint, both for newer generation and for the capability of making new and unique stories. Tony Stark getting captured by terrorists and making his scrappy Iron Man suit is a story arc that we have seen before, so we seriously don't need to see it again. However, what will be a good idea is maybe we can take a page out of the Ultimate Universes book. Nope, not that one. Although this one's Ultimate Spider-Man series is pretty cool. But I'm talking about the new Ultimate Universe that the maker created. Here, the original Iron Man is Howard Stark and Tony takes the mantle of Iron Lad. Peter Parker is married with Mary Jane and has 2 children, and he also gets his powers basically in his 30s. Wolverine is the current Winter Soldier. The world is ruled by Maker's Council with the likes of Hulk, the Rasputin family, Khonshu and Ra, and so on. If you are not reading the comics in this universe, you're kind of missing out on some great storytelling. But what I'm suggesting, rather than doing a complete copy job of those storylines, doing a top-to-bottom makeover with taking inspirations from them. Spidey not necessarily should be 30 years old, but like I said before, he can be in his college years. He can already have an established relationship with MJ. At first I was thinking of Gwen, but that will automatically transitions to the Death of Gwen Stacy story arc. So no. But hey, I'm open to new ideas. If the writers don't want to get into that, having Gwen as a significant other would be nice. But it should be an ongoing relationship. We already saw the opposite in the Amazing Spider-Man movies. Okay, I'm not talking about Spider-Man anymore. I mean, hopefully. We'll see. But now I will tell what we need for every single one of these new movies/series if MCU does a reset. No more origin stories, especially for the characters that were introduced before. But we don't even need it for the first-timers anyways. I don't think we really care about how the superhero became how they are today, but seeing how they are right now and seeing how they contribute to the story feels much more important. I mean, we are finally getting a Fantastic Four movie in MCU and it will include their origin story. Why would we need to see that again? These teams should already be existing in this universe. We should acknowledge their existence even though we don't have their respective movies or TV shows. A news anchor talking about how Avengers saved people from a collapsing building, and yes, they should help people regularly. A TV show where Reed Richards is the guest for winning another Nobel Prize, and small details like these for both giving fans some Easter eggs and also help the world building right from the start. But maybe the most important reason that we need a reset in the MCU is the unfillable absence of X-Men. They were absent for too long, and now if they will be introduced, there will be only questions like where were you when the world went to shit for the millionth time. We don't need that. It will be too complicated, and we don't need them to come into this world from an alternate one like the FF did. This can't be our plot-saving device for everything. But with the rest, X-Men could be one of those established groups in the new main timeline that handles all the political storylines. And having these groups already existing in the world makes it easy for having more TV series for them. X-Men IP can be only movies, but having series like Uncanny X-Men, X-Factor, New Mutants, like we have in the comics, both allows us to branch out major stories, create new ones with ease, and eases to introduce of other less paid attention mutants. But more characters mean more actors, and this is me trying to figure out how to segue to our next topic. When we think of a reset of anything, we mostly imagine things to change all the way around. Well, should we do the same thing in MCU as well? Mostly yeah, but with some asterisks. Allow me to explain. Throughout their casting choices, I will say Marvel did a great job with choosing which actor should play which character. but with some, I will say they wasted some great talent as well. So my proposal would be, even though I know this won't happen like at all, keep some of the character/actor pairs the same, but have some changes to others. One example for this could be Matt Mikkelsen. He played one of the villains in the first Doctor Strange movie back in 2016, and although he was great, MCU wasted him with that one-time role. My proposal for this will be, let's just forget that he played that character that I'm not even going to try to pronounce, and let's cast him as Magneto. Another example could be Michael B. Jordan. If you follow this channel, like if you are one of those 46 people that I love, you will know that MBJ is one of my favorite actors, and Killmonger was great as well. He did a fantastic job with the character. But let's just try not to kill him off with only one movie this time, shall we? And I know these things are not that easy to arrange. There are a lot of scheduling issues, some actors don't like to commit to several projects at once, and so on. But if you are going to recast everyone, let's just have them committed to both movies and TV shows. Because even though I love watching Spider-Man movies, I can't stop myself thinking from where the fuck was he when the events of Hawkeye happening. They basically wreaked havoc around the Rockefeller Center and my man was AWOL. What better thing you have to do anyways? Nobody remembers who you are not in college, so that's out of the way. Like, this shit's getting ridiculous. We need this world to be more intertwined within. But like I said with Michael B. Jordan, some characters should be played with their current actor. I mean, some of these people hardly got their recognition for how they played these characters, and there are yet to explore more story arcs for them. So my solution for this is to create a Noah's Ark type of situation, where the current Fantastic Four leading the bunch. With the latest rumored news, it seems like Thor will have his 5th movie right after Secret Wars, so he could be one of those leaders that leads the arc as well. My non-negotiable members that should continue to exist as the same in this reboot are the following, without including F4, and in this situation Thor. The entirety of Thunderbolts/New Avengers squad with maybe excluding Sebastian Stan. And my reason for that exclusion is, I don't know man, he seems like he's kind of done with the role and will accept this ending of his character. But if he wants to continue, why not let him have it? He suits Bucky extremely well. Shang-Chi will be okay to keep. I think Simu Liu did an exceptional job on playing the character and his film itself was very underrated. I wonder how will the character continue his journey after his debut movie. Daredevil, Wilson Fisk, and Punisher is definitely a must to me. Not only these actors does great justice to their characters, but like Shang-Chi, their MCU journey just begun and we, the fans, deserve much more Charlie Cox and the bunch in this universe. And for the one last spot that I can think of right now, I seriously think MCU should keep Haley Steinfeld aka Kate Bishop. Her charisma in the Hawkeye TV show was fantastic, just like the series. I don't know how many times I said this, but Hawkeye was criminally underrated and I'm still pissed that we haven't got a 2nd season for it. Besides these characters and actors, I'm kind of okay with rest of the MCU getting recasted. There are a lot of up-and-coming actors in the industry and a lot more established ones that MCU is yet to use or used pretty minimally. So TLDR, MCU should reset, we need change, and I need to find a way to finish this video. For that, thank you everyone for sticking until the end. Liking and subscribing to the channel is always much appreciated. I'm glad you're here. See you on the next one. Bye.